Welcome back to the Coloring Book channel. Today I'm going to be finishing out number blocks number 1 through 20. So I finally reached number 20, and that's what we're going to work on today. And we'll see if we can make something interesting out of it. So I looked on the web and found that number 20 is kind of a light brown or tan. So I thought, well, let me start with that and see what I can come up with. So here I'm using the narrow end of my marker to color that first block. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to try it with the wide end and see if that will go faster and still look as good. And that does look pretty good. So I'm just going to go on down here with that color. It's hard to believe there's actually 20 there, the way it's stacked. But I see that I'm getting down here and there's a few more rows that occupy his face. And so those will look like and round it out to 20. So what do you think? Should I go ahead and color in the brown, or should I scoop up to the top and try and get the rest of it? I think I'm going to switch over to my sharp end of the marker and fill in that rather than go up to the top and finish out the easier blocks. I do have a protective board underneath this, as I've found when I color with the markers. Even with this pretty decent paper in this NumberBlock book, it bleeds right through and will wreck any other pages behind it. So I use that coloring board to keep things from getting messy. So today you can see I'm using my Moon markers. Those have a lot more variety of light browns up to dark browns, but that gives you a lot more flexibility in picking some browns. And I've found I need a lot of different browns, especially when doing forest or whatever. You don't want just one brown for all the trees. You'd like to have 5 or 6 different browns that you could pick for various trees. Okay. Wow, that really looks good. So now I'm going to go back up to the top and color in the next row, next column of numbers. And probably when I make this video, I'll put some kind of flag by each block to count it up to 20. Just makes it a little more fun. And then I also, as I'm doing that, if I make any mistakes along the way, allows me to put a oops on the screen and explain what I did incorrectly. As I'm coloring these out, I'm thinking, should I outline the blocks, each individual block, or should I let the black line that's already there be the outline? I haven't decided yet, but I'm leaning towards outlining the blocks. A lot of times it gives them a more three-dimensional quality. And you can see along the right side here, I have some blocks that will be the edges of this block. I'm going to switch back to the fine point to get this in here without covering up too much of the white. You can see I got some blocks on the side there. I think I'm going to use a darker color there to indicate that the light's coming from the left side, and leaving the right side dark. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, that's 20. Now I'm going to pick a darker color, and I want the fine point, and I'm going to shade these. Oh, that's a lot darker. Probably darker than I wanted. Should have done a test first, but I'm going to stick with it. So that's the shading for the right side. As I said, that's a little darker than I really wanted to make it, but such is life. We'll try this brown for the hat that he's wearing. And I did a nice lighter brown for the part of his hat to make it look a little better. I think that turned out pretty well. I'm going to make his glasses match his hat. Wow, this looks like it might be a little dark too, so I'm going to switch up here and pick one of these lighter browns. Let's see what I can do with that for his eyebrows. You can see, even though I picked a fairly light brown, from the looks of it, it comes out pretty dark. So I always have to be really careful when picking colors for markers, because they often come out darker than you might expect. I'm going to do his legs the same color as his arms, except for his shoes. He seems to have these fancy shoes. And I think I might just give the guy a little color here. I think I have a deep red picked out. Yes. I'm going to see if that looks good here on his bow. Now, for his lips, I'm going to do a really light pink. Okay, that'll work. It's not as pink as I wanted it to be, but we'll see how it turns out after it dries. And then I'm going to make his eyes yellow instead of just leaving them white. Okay. Well, now I'm going to pick black. They always write the numbers above their heads in black, so I'm going to stick with that. Make the 20 a nice dark black. I've consistently done that on my NumberBlock coloring pages. So I may change it up at some point and start putting colors up here, but so far I'm sticking with the black. Okay, now the only decision I got left to make is, do I outline the rest of him? And I think I will, just because that was pretty easy to color. Let's see, I got a potato brown I could use, or this. I'd like to use the same brown I used here, but I forgot which one it was. So I'm just gonna outline it carefully. And my lines aren't near as straight as they were on the original, but still looks pretty good. What do you think?